Wow, it's worse than I thought.
So Dominic moved the chickens onto the pasture, so now I am tasked with cleaning out the brooder. We're gonna be having another set of chicks next week, but they have been pooping in here for about 4 weeks, so I do need to get it cleaned up. There's a lot of poop, and I just go in every day and put another layer of pine shavings down. So now that they're done, I'm taking all of this and I'm putting it out in the compost bin and wetting it down so that it can compost.
Pinky the thumb on me.
Holy smokes.
What's that, 6 or 7 inches, I suppose?
They're massive.
The cobras.
Not one, but 2 of the biggest worms I've ever seen in my entire life. And it's done. That took like 8 or 9 wheelbarrows full of stuff. It's a little bit crazy, but I got it all out here and I'm watering it down and just getting it ready to compost. And Dominic's got to do some repairs on the shed before we put the next brooder in, but we're gonna have another batch of chicks, I guess, next week.
Alright, so we got the chickens out on pasture there, or out in the yard anyway, on grass, a couple of days ago. I'm going to fix this spongy floor because our next batch of chickens is coming on the weekend, so I want to get this cleared out, fix that floor before we put a new batch in because the floor is real spongy. And when I looked in through the back and there's a beam in there that's cracked off, so we're going to see if we can fix that. As you've noticed on the channel, I'm not the most competent carpenter, but we're gonna see if we can scab something together to make that floor rock solid again.
Watch out!
Alright, welcome inside the world's messiest shed. Basically, I had to clear out the area above this piece of plywood so I can hopefully get this off without breaking it, and we can get down underneath and see what's going on inside. You step there, the plywood moves quite liberally. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. So pretty spongy over on this side, so we're going to take this guy off. We'll see if there's any more damage than that and kind of assess the situation.
Over there, okay? That'll help.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to use the skill saw here to cut across the seam. It's screwed in a bunch across the way. 3 of the screws won't come out, they're stripped. So I'm going to try to cut as best I can without hitting the screws, and then hopefully I'll just be able to peel it up. It'll crack relatively clean, and if I need to, I'll grind off the screws to put it back down again. Hopefully we get a nice clean crack and I can salvage that piece of plywood, but if not, that's it, but I need another piece of plywood. I'll take out a second mortgage. Let's assess the damage. Whoa.
Yeah. What are you doing?
Wow, it's worse than I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What can we do?
What can we do? Alright, we got to close back in. So I propped up stuff. We're a little bit spongy here still. And if I had more space to get my feed in tonight, it's going to rain overnight. I don't have all the gear I need now to fix it perfectly. And I need my shed storage right now. As you can see, I got lots of feed out there I need to put away. So it's way better over here. It's way better here too, but you can see it's still a bit spongy. And that's because the joists over here are just really rotted out. So anyhow, that's good enough for now, I guess. But that was worse than I thought when I cracked it open. When I looked in underneath, all I could see was that one beam. Looked like a 4x4 that was cracked, but like you saw, it was a 2x4. So not sure that's up to code. So obviously it's very tiring work. as you can see.
That's making breakfast.
Is he?
Making late supper.
I just wanted to update you on the compost here. So last week I took the brooder out of the shed, and that was a mix of pine shavings and chicken manure because the chickens were in there for 4 weeks and they were just pooping all over the place. So I put it here and then I wet it, and the reason that I wet it is that it will start to compost right away if it's wet. Now this week it went up to 140 degrees within just a few days, and now it's back down to 120, but that is really, really fast. If I just left it there dry, it would not have composted that fast. So that's what's going on with that. We're gonna move over to the side. So in here, we have got the compost that we started making last year. And it is coming along really, really well. It's really dark and it has composted super, super well. And this is the compost that we're gonna be using on our tomatoes today. All right, the time is here. We are at the cattle panel greenhouse and we're finally gonna go in and break some ground and start planting plants inside there. It's only June 5th. We did have a really big frost last night, but I think that everything is fine in the greenhouse because it's a greenhouse. So I'll just keep it closed up at night, but we're still getting hit pretty hard with the frosts. This is actually the warmest day it's been all week. It's been cold. So as you can see, we have got a bit of a compost pile here. We're actually gonna take that out, and we've got some of our plants in here. Here we have a tomato plant that I started from seed myself in the house with no heating mat, no lights, no nothing, just kind of in the cold Canadian spring. And this is a tomato start plant that I bought at a local nursery, and they have got a heated greenhouse, they got a heat pump in there, and they got all the gear. So this is the difference between, in my place, this is the difference between like a professional and an amateur planter. But we'll see how they grow. They look good. Very excited to plant them. So Dominic built this greenhouse with the idea that he could put the wheelbarrow into the greenhouse, but he realized he might not have accounted for when the doors open, that little edge. Oh, there it is! So he's got it. Last for a little while.
I don't think it'll make it in there.
Dominic has got this side already. It was tilled up and he put the compost from outside. We have removed the compost and the mulch that was kind of in here already. I'm going to take the rest and just kind of spread it down the center so I have the middle mulched because that's where we'll be walking. And now we're going to do pretty much the same thing to the other side, and then we can plant our tomato plants and our peppers.
Alright, so I got the other side tilled up. This side would look really great. There was a lot of worms in the soil there, so I'm hopeful. It's nice and loose. It was easy. I know man breathes heavily. TV is back, but it was relatively easy to just till up with that little fork. So hopefully this is going to go very well. I'm hoping. Lots left. Do you think we should go thicker?
Our eggshells, we cook them in the oven for a little bit, and then we grind them down. And these are apparently really good for when you're planting tomatoes. You put them like in the bottom of the hole, and apparently it stops from having root rot. I'm not sure, but it's good for them.
How's it going, boss?
Put them all in, and now I'm going to put, I'm going to use this to plant the basil seeds because they gotta go up on top.
Yeah, good idea.
I'm going to put them 12 inches apart right across. So my tomatoes and peppers are in, and right now I'm just putting my like companion plants. So I'm going to do a line of basil across here with the tomatoes, and then I'm going to put some dill and cilantro over here as well. So that's where we're at. It's actually starting to rain right now, so it's nice to be in the greenhouse, even though it's really sunny. Buddy? Okay, it has been a few days, but I wanted to come in and just kind of show you the final product of the greenhouse, which hopefully in a few weeks is going to be filled with food. How long does it take? I don't know. It's going to be filled with food eventually, but here it is. So I have got 2 rows here basically. Down this side I have got tomato plants, and in between each tomato plant, so every tomato plant is 18 inches apart, and every 12 inches there is basil planted in front of them. And over on this side we have got peppers here, and then tomatoes down the rest, and by the peppers we have got cilantro and dill growing with them as well. And I've got one little mint plant down there, which I don't know if he needs to be there or not. He's just there. I didn't know where else to put him. But that's basically it. I know it's not a lot going on. And we might have like a really wide space. Maybe we could fit like another section here in the center, but we're going very easy. It's our first greenhouse. So I'm super, super pleased. We've been in watering it lots. It gets nice and warm in here. We're still getting frosts. We're getting frost warnings every single night. It is June 7th. And so we've got it closed up tight every night. And that's it. Hopefully everything is going to grow in here. So this is it. So that is it for today. Sorry about Sunday's video. I've got everything done for my class now, so we don't have to worry about it anymore. And we'll see you again on Saturday. Have a great week. Bye.